Okay, hey fam, welcome to part 2 of the 3-part video series where I am teaching you the 3 mistakes that you need to avoid in your remote work search, okay? So, if you're new here, hello, my name is Sienna Brown. I am a remote work educator and entrepreneur, and I am dedicated to helping driven women like you be able to secure remote work opportunities so that you can build the life of freedom and flexibility that you deserve. If this is your first video that you're watching, I want to encourage you to hit pause, go back, check out the intro video and video number 1 where we went over the first mistake that most people make. And not only that, but I gave you 2 activities so that you are able to identify what type of remote work is best for you and how to really start building out a plan to get from where you are now to that dream life, your next chapter, where you want to be. Okay? In case you, be sure to check it out because it's not going from point A to point B, it's going ABC, okay? So. In today's video, you are going to learn mistake number 2 and why you need to become the Rihanna of remote work. Okay, so I want to share with you a quick story about Riri and how she has become the world's wealthiest female musician. Take a moment, let that sink in. Rihanna's net worth is worth more than Beyonce's. When I was doing the research on this, I had absolutely no idea and I was astonished. But here's the thing. Rihanna, of course, if you're in my generation, you know her as Riri, the one who had all the summer jams, Pon de Replay, etc. But if you were to ask a 16 or 18-year-old right now, who is Rihanna and what is she known for? Odds are the first thing they're going to say is Fenty Beauty. Okay? So, when Rihanna launched Fenty in September of 2017, that is what allowed for her to make a huge career change and go from being known as a singer and artist to becoming an entrepreneur. So when she made that switch from going from an artist to an entrepreneur, I think that there are really 4 huge lessons that we can learn and put into action for our own lives on how to be able to make a big career switch and have that be something that not just brings in more income but also has more impact. Fenty Beauty has changed the makeup game for so many women and women of color out there, where now like Rihanna is known for something else that is much bigger than just making music. Although the music she was making before was just as dope, okay? So, 4 big takeaways from Rihanna's career switch. The first one is, do not be afraid to redefine yourself and your mission. Of course that might be terrifying because you're used to, or maybe you've been putting years in the same field, you've been doing the same thing for a while and you're nervous because that's your comfort zone, that's what you're used to. But saying, okay, I'm going to start all over, I'm going to start from point 0 for something that I have no idea how it's going to like work out. Don't worry. When you have a step-by-step plan to secure what's going to happen next, it's going to make it a lot easier. So do not be afraid to redefine yourself and your mission to really be able to step up to that next level of leadership and that next level of #life goals for your personal and professional opportunities. Okay? Lesson number 2. Lesson number 2 is have clarity on who you are and what you want to be doing, okay? I know that for a lot of us, you feel like, okay, I'm a multi-potentialite. I want to be able to do it all. I want to be able to do it all. I have so many projects. I want to launch my podcast and start my business and work remotely and get overwhelmed. Because when you try to do everything, when you try to do everything at the same time, odds are you're not doing anything well because your time and energy is all over the place. Okay, so I want you to not be afraid to say, okay, this is the next step that I'm going to take. All of my other big ideas and projects, they're still there, they're not going to go away, but I'm going to hit the pause button and say, okay, I'm going to focus on this one thing, on making this next step and working on that consistently until I get there. And then, like I've spoken to you about before, you're going to go right now from your point A to point B. Once you get to point B, then that's great. For example, I am a huge multi-potentialite. I want to start a podcast. At some point in my life, I would love to have a plant-filled cafe where people can go and create and connect. But that's not my priority right now, because although I'm at point C, that's maybe point F or G, right? That's in a couple of different chapters, but I have to say, although I have these desires and passions, what is going to be most useful and most impactful right now at this point in my life, okay? With that, I want you to have laser focus. I want you to get committed and dedicated and consistent, right? Because I want you to be able to show up for yourself. If you don't show up for yourself and put in the work, things aren't going to fall from the sky, right? And it's not just about putting in the work, but putting in the smart, strategic work to be able to make it happen, okay? And the last thing is like, it is okay to make a change. Do not feel guilty. Do not feel like you're indebted to anyone. You need to listen to yourself and say, okay, what is it that I actually want to do? I bet you there were tons of people who told Rihanna that that Fenty wouldn't be successful, she wouldn't be able to do it, why doesn't she stick to singing? But did she listen? No. She followed her gut, she followed her heart, and then she put in the work. Of course, she has a lot of resources and the help behind her to do that, but the core values are clear, okay? So, we all need to become the Rihanna of remote work. We need to not be afraid of making a change, taking that big career shift, and right now I'm going to share with you how to clearly and confidently communicate who you are, what you do, and what you bring to the table, okay? So there are 3 W statements or W questions that I want you to head to your worksheet today and answer. And this is really going to help you get clear on who you are, what you do, and what you bring to the table, all right? The first thing you want to ask yourself in your remote work search is who. So who is your, and I use this term with all of my students, your ICA. It's a marketing term that talks about your ideal client avatar. In our case, we're talking about our ideal client avatar or our ideal company avatar, right? So figuring out who your dream company and dream clients are and really digging deep into that research. Who are they? What do they do? Where do they hang out online? What do they need, right? What are their pain points? What are they struggling with? And how am I going to be able to be that person to help them, okay? That brings us to step 2. Once you know exactly who you're talking to, you need to ask yourself the what. What do you offer? So, I work with my students to come up with an ISSI methodology. It is most likely one of the hardest parts in all of the courses, both Master Your Move Abroad and Remote Work Roadmap, but it is the most beneficial because it helps you dive deep to identify your identity, skills, strengths, and impact. Once you have those 4 things down, you are then able to craft an engaging story that will allow people to want to learn more about you and what you do. It will be able to help you clearly and confidently communicate your skills, your strengths, and being able to use your past experience to transition to a new job, a new field, a new line of work, whatever it is that you're trying to transition into. And do that with confidence of being able to say, hey, nice to meet you, this is why you need me, okay? So the first one is who, getting crystal clear on who your ideal client or company is, knowing what do you offer. So not just what do you offer, but like also what services do you want to offer. If you are someone who is scaling your side hustle, are you offering courses or ebooks or PDF downloads or whatever that looks like? If you are trying to get hired by a remote job, or let's say that you're trying to start your business, what offers and what packages are you offering to different clients that you want to be working with? And let's say that you want to score the remote job, how are you positioning myself to be like, hey, I need to join your team to be able to bring this to the table, okay? And this brings us to the last W. Why? Why does it matter? Why do I care? Why does anyone that you're reaching out to care, right? A lot of the times we think, hey, I have this great idea, I'm amazing, all these things, but we don't know how to clearly communicate that to other people. So it's like, hey, nice to meet you, I'm awesome, but it's like, no, why do I care? Why is the person that you're talking to your ideal client or company, why do they care and why does it matter to them? So you have to show them the transformation that you will be able to bring them to. I'm going to give you a quick example, my own example, and then one for you guys to kind of see. Because once you have these 3 things together, you're going to be able to come up with a very strong mission statement, elevator pitch, whatever it is that you want to hear. Mine, in this case, is I help driven women secure remote work opportunities so that they can build the life of freedom and flexibility that they deserve, right? That is super clear. If you're a driven woman who wants to score remote work, you know I'm talking to you. You know why I'm doing this for you, and you're going to be able to see the transformation from going overwhelmed and frustrated in your remote work search to building a life, securing different opportunities with clarity and confidence so you can build that life of freedom and flexibility, right? So you can see the process. You're struggling over here, I come in, I teach you the mindset, methodology, and motivation that you need to be able to say, okay, I can clearly and confidently do this. I feel like a badass and I'm ready for any opportunity. Because then once you have that down, then you're going to start scoring remote work with a lot more ease, okay? Okay, so I want to give you another example. Let's say that you're trying to start and or grow your virtual assistant business, for example. There's a difference between saying, hey, my name is Sienna, I'm a virtual assistant and I would love to work with you, versus being able to say, hey, my name is Sienna. I help small business owners be able to scale and grow their business by taking away the time-consuming, tedious tasks that they don't need to do when they're in their CEO role. Do you see the difference between those two things? Hey, I'm a VA versus being able to tell you exactly who you are, exactly what you need, and exactly the transformation that's going to help you better your life and why I'm your solution, okay? So you see the difference between those two examples? When you're able to ask yourself, who are you targeting, what are you offering, and why it matters to them, it'll help you build out this mission statement, elevator pitch, whatever you want to call it, to be able to clearly and confident say, this is who I am, what I do, and what I bring to the table, okay? So, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. It has been a blast, and I want you to keep an eye out because in the next video, we're going to be talking about the last mistake that most people make in their remote work search. And just for a quick recap, today we have learned why we need to become the Rihanna of remote work, the 4 different lessons and takeaways that we can take from Riri regarding changing ourselves, reinventing ourselves, and stepping into our new career chapter. And the last thing is we've been able to identify the 3 questions you need to ask yourself to build out your mission statement and elevator pitch so that you can clearly and confidently communicate who you are, what you do, and why it matters, all right? So take a moment to fill out your worksheets, do some brainstorming, take 15, 20 minutes to really sit down with this. And once you've got it down, I want you to head to social media, let me know, tag me, and we can get started sharing a little bit more about your journey and working together, okay? So I will see you in the next video.